Welcome, welcome, everyone, here to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, here inside the Cleveland Cliffs Atrium. I'm John Michael. I'm the television play-by-play broadcaster for the Cavaliers, and what a great day it is here in Cavalier Country. What a terrific time to be a Cavalier fan, a terrific time to be a part of an organization that last season went above and beyond. That last season was a team that wasn't expected to do much, but did a lot. And a team that wasn't just fun and exciting to watch on the floor and with its roster, but was a team built for sustainable success. And believe me when I tell you, if the preseason workouts are any indication, this group is coming back hungrier for more. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the people up here on the stage. First, is the Cavs President of Basketball Operations, Kobe Altman. Kobe leads a front office with the backing of Cavs Chairman Dan Gilbert that has been fearless in making bold moves to shape this Cavalier roster and young core. The trade to acquire Jarrett Allen, the drafting of Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, the molding of a roster with attractive pieces that fit, and capped by a trade just 11 days ago to bring a tremendous talent here to Cleveland, who joins a starting lineup that now features 3 All-Stars and the 21-year-old phenom in Mobley. Second, Cavaliers head coach J.B. Bickerstaff. JB last season engineered the biggest turnaround in the entire NBA and had a defense that skyrocketed from 25th the season before all the way up to 5th. JB and his staff have fostered a culture and a trust in a system that has already reaped benefits more quickly than expected. The buy-in is evident each and every night, and the team's authentic chemistry speaks for itself. And third, the man of the hour. A dynamic 3-level scorer who has averaged 26 points per game over each of the last 2 seasons and 24 points per game throughout his 5-year career. A man who has never missed the playoffs and has saved some of his best basketball for when the lights are the brightest, as his postseason numbers are even greater than his numbers in the regular season. A 3-time All-Star and the newest Cleveland Cavalier, Donovan Mitchell. With that, I will send things over to Kobe for his introductory remarks and the presentation of Donovan's jersey.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I think it's just overwhelming, right? And I speak for Donovan like this is a tremendously exciting and special day for everybody in this building, for Cleveland, Northeast Ohio. First and foremost, I want to welcome your visitors and your guests with you, obviously your mom, Nicole, thank you for being here. Austin Brown, representation for Donovan. We appreciate you guys coming on this trip. I'm going to go into Donovan a little bit after I talk about some of the guys that went out in the deal. Obviously, really important players for us as an organization. Colin Sexton, he was a cultural fixture in this organization for 4 years. He's going to be missed. He brought an incredible tenacity with him every single day during some hard times, and so we wish him nothing but the best. Larry Marketing, who's killing it overseas right now. Only had him for 1 year, but he led us and helped us with a tremendously fun season, and we wish him nothing but the best. And then Ochai Agbaji, who's going to have a promising career ahead of him. We thank those guys. Obviously, it comes with some pain to create probably one of the biggest trades in franchise history. To bring a 3-time All-Star before the age of 26. He just turned 26 last week. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And to what J. Mike said, has never missed a playoffs in his career, which we hope that streak continues. But more than that, we'll get into the basketball piece, but more than that, we've done our research, and he's had players he's played with that are on this roster, coaches, assistant coaches that have worked with him in Utah. They talk about him as a tremendous human being. His high character, high intellect, and he's about team and he's about winning. And so we knew that he would fit this culture. And I also want to thank our players for being here. Our all-star guard, Darius Garland, being here. I called him right away, and he couldn't be more excited to add Donovan Mitchell to this group. They've accomplished a lot. These players have accomplished a lot and put us in a position to be able to acquire this level of talent and push this thing forward. The other thing I want to say to Donovan is you're more than just a basketball player. You stand for something. You have put yourself out there. You have used your platform to speak against social injustices. And me and JB and the organization can't wait to align with you and how you continue to make the world a better place. And so you're more than a basketball player, what you're going to bring to this community. And so we welcome that aspect of you as well. But with that being said, let's get back to basketball. And without further ado, I would like to welcome in number 45, Donovan Mitchell.
We are going to open it up for questions in just a few minutes, but first let's hear from this trio on stage. Donovan, it's great to see you. Northeast Ohio has been abuzz. It's just been jumping since the news broke that you were headed to Cleveland. The fans have been eager to hear from you. For those here in attendance and watching on Cavs.com, what was your reaction when you found out about the trade, and what's your new message for your fan base?
First of all, I want to thank Kobe, JB, everybody here. Appreciate the welcome from when I landed. I remember Lauren was telling us, you got a few fans coming. Got a few fans coming to say hello. So I'm thinking, it's 20. And man, from the tunnel to the airport, man, it's just been nothing but love. And you guys have really showed out, and I truly appreciate that. When I first found out, I was golfing. So that report is true. I was golfing, and I was running around crazy. Mainly, in fact, when I figured out, who we kept in the deal, because I didn't know who was in the trade. I just know I was traded, and when I found out we kept DG and JA and Ev and Karras and all these guys, man, I was like, wow, like we got a talented group. A team that was third in the East, and then obviously injuries came about, and that was before I got here. And now we can only look to do more and better, and just continue to win and build. And I'm truly excited, just to be a part of this organization, to be here in the city, just to have fun, playing basketball, playing with a group of guys who really want to win and who really want to continue to build. And we're young, but we're hungry and we're ready. It's weird saying I'm probably one of the older guys on the team, but like I said, we're really excited. I spoke with JB, spoke with Kobe, man. We're all excited. Spoke with the guys, and we're ready to go.
You described your excitement about playing with that group. How do you see your game fitting with the likes of Darius Garland, Caris LeVert, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's from experience. I think as a one thing I can definitely provide off the jump. But for me, being able to use my scoring, finding my ways to create plays, and get guys open shots, and then let Darius do what he does, Caris do what he does, and be able to be a decoy as well over there in the corner and let them get open lanes, and Ev and JA finding the roll man. And then defensively, when you got 2 7-footers down there, who I've played against them, and they've both got me a few times last year, so it'll be good to be on the same team as them. But I think from that standpoint, I think we were able to accomplish a lot.
And lastly, Donovan, what have been your first impressions about your teammates, your coaches, and the city of Cleveland?
Well, first off, the team, we're fun. Like, it's a fun group. Like I said, we're fairly young as a team, and I think for us, just going out there and whether it's on the floor or off the floor, being able to have a good time, be able to talk to each other, be able to hold each other accountable on the floor, I think that's huge. We spoke with Coach, man. We're really excited to get going and kind of figure out the X's and O's of the game, and then obviously city of Cleveland. I've been here a few times outside of just playing the game. I was here for when the finals, I think it was my first year. Obviously, the All-Star game was here last year. Unfortunately, I was sick, so I was in the hotel room all day. But, you know, for me, I'm going to be able to see a bunch of Browns and Guardians games for sure. Just being able to be around the city, man, like the love. Like, that's the one thing I can say for off rip. Like, just the love that I've received, the team has received, you know, I think is something that really, truly stands out. And I couldn't be more excited to get going.
Thank you, Donovan. JB, let's go to you. You doubled your win total last season from 22 to 44 victories. How does the addition of Donovan enhance and perhaps adjust the style that you're looking to implement this season?
It doesn't change what we want to do and how we play. You know, we live our lives every single day by trying to do two things. We want to be the most competitive team and the most selfless team. So he'll come in and he'll fit right away with that. You know, as a coaching staff, we sit back and, you know, we have all these grand ideas, and it just goes to another level when you think about, you know, the dynamic offense that we can put on the floor and the threats that we have on the floor. Like, you think about these three guys that are sitting here in front of us, and if you're an opposing coach, what decision are you going to make? You know, who are you going to stay home on? Who are you going to leave? And then you throw in, you know, Kevin Love popping on the perimeter, J.A. and Evan rolling, or now they get the ball in the pocket. So these guys can present some problems for people. But, again, it's going to start about us being unselfish. But I told Donovan and I've told Darius and Karis this as well. It's like, you got to be the best version of yourself, right? Don't come in on your heels trying to figure it out. Like, we want all of you guys to be aggressive with the mindset that we're going to share the game and then make defenses have to make tough decisions.
You anticipated the next question in a way. How do you envision the dynamic in the backcourt among Donovan, Darius, and Karis, as well as their ability to play with and through your big men on the floor?
Well, that's the thing, is we can put different combinations together. You know, again, if you think about, you know, whatever your three-man game, your two-man game, you know, you can go out every single night and you can find the weak link on the defensive end of the floor. And defenses, most of them don't have enough, you know, strong defenders that they can just put one guy on each of these guys. So, again, we can go out and manipulate the game. You know, we play an unselfish, you know, up-tempo ball movement type of game. You know, the fourth quarter is where it's really going to get fun, where you get to slow the game down a little bit, and then, you know, you get to play that chess match. But there's so many threats on the floor that our guys have and how they present themselves that a lot of times it's just going to be, you know, take what the defense gives you because we know that guy can make you pay.
Thank you, JB. Kobe, with the Cavs group of young core players, plus the likes of accomplished veterans Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio, what does this trade mean for the Cavs now and also into the future?
I mean, we're still super young. We have to go through some trials and tribulations. We got to go through some failures and come back even stronger. But when you talk about adding Donovan, who's played 39 playoff games, you know, that enhances our acceleration, and I'm excited. I think we've earned the opportunity to try to compete against the best in the world, and it's an exciting group that we have great character, great work ethic. And most importantly, guys that really want to be in Cleveland. I think that's really important.
Kobe, can you articulate why this move makes so much sense at this particular time in terms of the existing timeline?
Well, again, you know, I don't want to go through the ages, but we're super young, and the timeline fits to bring in this caliber of player with this group. And let's rock. I mean, let's rock out. I'm excited to see what it looks like, but there's a runway here, and I don't want everyone to think that, you know, this year we have to be contention or bust. That's not what this is. There's a real runway here for these guys to grow together, learn how to play together, and get better each year, and grow to hopefully some really exciting basketball.
Thank you, gentlemen. Donovan, welcome aboard. At this point, we're going to bring up VP of Basketball Communications, B.J. Evans. He'll conduct the question and answer.
Good afternoon. Thank you, media, for showing up today. As we do in our normal routine, please raise your hand if you have a question. Sharon and Sam, you can look to your right. They have microphones. They'll get those to you. First time through, give us your name and your outlet, and limit your questions to one and a follow-up so we can get to everybody and hopefully circle back around again. So looks like Tom.
Hey, Donovan, Tom Withers, Associated Press. Welcome to Cleveland. A belated happy birthday to you. You referenced it earlier. What's it like to be 26 and be one of the old guys?
I don't know. Besides physically, I don't really feel old. No, I'm kidding. No, I think, like knowing these guys, I've been around these guys, the league is small, so you hang around, even though you're not on the same team. And I've been with Darius pretty much a lot this summer. And, for me, I just look to just bring what I've seen. I've learned, like I've played with Ricky Rubio my first 2 years. We went through playoffs. I went through certain trials and tribulations that some guys haven't seen. So just being able to provide that, and things that I've seen and help the little things, when you get out there, just being able to be vocal, be a leader, but also just do what I've been doing and let them do what they've been doing because it's been working.
Kobe referenced kind of this runway, but is there any reason not to think that this team can't compete for an NBA title right away?
No, there's no reason. I think for us, we have to go out there and do the work. On paper, we look scary, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what we do in the gym. It starts like we had a good run today. We're going to continuously have good work. So I can't sit here and tell you this is like a championship team. We got to go out there and prove it every night. We're going to have good months, good weeks, good days. We're going to have bad weeks, and bad days. But for us, if we can continue to put the work in night and night out, and continue to put that effort in, with the right play, we might do something.
Chris
Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, Donovan. You mentioned all the people that showed up at the airport, all the people that are here right now. How do those things sit with you? What does that mean to you to have that kind of reception?
Yeah, it blew me away. It's still blowing me away. I see your people here, man. It's truly, it makes you feel appreciated, for one. And I think the biggest thing is you want to give your heart and soul for the people that show up for you, especially since we landed here at 9 o'clock in the morning, which means they probably have to get up at like 7:38. That in itself, it's the little things that really go a long way. And I truly appreciate that because on a night in and night out basis, we're going to be up, working, continue to fight for this city, and then to bring the city another championship.
And as an outsider coming in, what specifically appeals to you about this group that you're joining? What makes you so excited about it?
I mean, these two right here, Ev, J.A., like I said, when I found out who was on the team, I was like, man, like Kobe said, we can really do something. But at the end of the day, that was the biggest thing for me. I was like, wow, we have a team that really can compete. A team, like I said, that was in the play-in game, but was in third for most of the year until some injuries had come about and whatnot. And for me, just bringing my playoff experience and what I've seen to a group that's already phenomenal, I think that can be really special.
Marla
Ridenauer, Akron Beacon Journal. So much was made, Donovan, about you're headed to New York. It was just how shocking was this that seemed like kind of what happened in the lead up to it.
Yeah, so I honestly had no idea. My agent, AB, called me on was it Wednesday? It was a Wednesday, and, said you're going to Cleveland. And like I said, my reaction was what it was. But all summer, I didn't really say much. I kind of just let you guys do what you guys do, to be honest. And I thought for sure I was going back home. Not going to lie about that. But when I found out where I was headed, who I was playing with, the group, the team, the coaching staff, I couldn't be more happier to be here, to be a part of this organization, to be a part of this group, to join these phenomenal guys, man, and add to it. And I think that for me is what I'm truly excited about.
And you mentioned you'd been working out with Darius. Just what has that been like? What do you just? Is it more getting to know, or are you doing physical stuff? Or?
Well, we were working out this summer. It's funny. I tell people, I told somebody, I said, Darius was here, and then we working out with other people. So it's kind of you're looking here, thinking that this is the case, thinking this is your destination, and turns out it's right here next to you. You're not even looking. And one thing I will say, and Darius doesn't notice, the 2 times we worked out, he's. I consider myself a pretty good shooter, but he's right there, if not better, and I'm trying to keep up with him, and I'm like, Jesus. All right, come on, here we go. So, he made me, have to raise my level in a workout, and if you can bring down a night-to-night basis in a workout and a practice, you get to a game, now we're on the same team, it'll be special.
Kelsey
Russo, The Athletic. Donovan, this team last year really built their identity on the defensive end over the last couple of years. How do you see yourself fitting into that and the role you'll play in the backcourt?
I think, for me, using my length, my athletic ability, being able to keep guys in front, I think that'll pay dividends. But like I said, we're rotating, we're scrambling. We've worked on a little bit of it today. And, you got two 7-footers who are rotating and scrambling with you. It's like kind of like pick your poison, you know. But being able to guard and be on the ball, you know, I think is the biggest thing, and I definitely have to improve in that arena. I'm not going to deny that, but I think, you know, we got a talented group that wants to work. I want to work at it. I want to get better at it, and JB is going to hold us accountable for that. But, you know, when you have a group that was 5th in defense, you know, that's what's first. You know, everything else comes after that. And I think for us, you know, we have a talented group, and I just look to add to that.
And JB, for you, what was your reaction when the trade went down, and just kind of what was the reaction when it went down?
You know, obviously we were excited. I think, you know, in this business and how we kind of operate, you go through, you know, different emotions because we did get tied to those guys that we had here, and you know, spent so much time and care and working with them. You know, we didn't replace those guys with someone where even as a human being, first and foremost, we thought wouldn't fit. And when you don't have to sacrifice people over talent, you give yourself an opportunity to build something special. And, you know, Donovan and I have a great relationship with one of his former assistant coaches. And, you know, we've had conversations over the past, but, you know, had another conversation with him. And, you know, there was nothing negative that he had to say about him as a human being. So to be able to add talent and character, you know, we were extremely excited. And when we think about where we needed to go, you think about, you know, some of the games that we had last year that we just didn't have that level of experience. To be able to add somebody who brings that experience and playing in those moments, like, you know, we felt like that would help push us over the hump. You know, you add a player of his caliber, he's going to make other guys better because he's going to push them. Like, these guys are competitive, right? So he's talking about a drill and a summer workout. Imagine our practices now. So now our practices are going to go to another level, and the gameplay is going to go to another level because we're pushing each other and we're competing at that level. So we were extremely excited about it. You know, it was kind of a curveball when it happened. We had our coaches retreat and put a plan in place, and you know, so we had to make some changes, but we'll make it work.
Terry.
Terry Pluto, Cleveland Plain Dealer. Kobe, when did you begin to really get serious about trying to get Donovan? That's part one of the question. And the other part is when they start saying, I not want one draft choice, I want 2, I want 3, I want to swap, all that stuff. So if you talk about the pursuit of him and then the price.
Yeah, I mean, we've always admired his game from afar. We have a great relationship with Utah and my counterpart over there, Justin Zanuck, who I'm pretty close with. And I would just describe it as something that we just kind of hung around. And when they decided to pivot, we were there. And, you know, it's a tribute to our chairman, Dan Gilbert, that gives me the wherewithal to make a transaction of this magnitude, gives us the resources to be all in and try to win at the highest level. We're actionable and we're available, and I think there's a value in that. In terms of in terms of the value, it's a 25-year-old 3-time All-Star, and I think it becomes really simple, right? At the core, my job is to bring the very best talent to Cleveland, and I'm sitting next to one of the very best players in the world. And so when you simplify that, is Donovan Mitchell going to make us a better basketball team? Yes. How do we get that done? And you go through the pain points of it, but I think we're all really, really happy and excited about what we can do.
And then the second part of this would be when you watch your team down the stretch, and granted some guys are hurt or whatever, but in the play-in tournament, was there a glaring need that you saw there that led you to also going after Donovan?
I think the experience to get there was huge for us. I think we had some solutions in-house as well. We were excited about the team coming back already. And so if we weren't able to get this transaction done, we were excited about what we had coming back. But when the opportunity presented itself, absolutely Donovan takes us to another level, and it makes Karis more dangerous. It makes Darius more dangerous, and it helps Evan. I can't wait to see what that looks like. And so, yeah, it gives us an entirely different dynamic. And, of course, you're thinking about, well, what if we had Donovan in that Atlanta Hawks game? And hopefully it won't be that this year. We'll see, though.
Joe.
Hi, Donovan. Joe Varden from The Athletic. Good to see you again. As you mentioned earlier, you didn't say much this summer. And all summer long, you were the center of trade discussion. What was your interest in being traded from Utah? And then, as you know, the number one speculation as far as where you're headed was New York, where you're from. What is or was your interest in going to New York?
Yeah, obviously, all summer I wouldn't say much, but, for me it was, once Rudy got traded, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. It's kind of, I think we all did, and I think we understood we had a good run. I kind of had a feeling I was going to get moved. Like I said, I thought it was New York. I'm not going to lie to y'all, but, and obviously who doesn't want to be home next to their mom, and I've lived at home since I was like in 8th grade. I've been at boarding school and whatnot, so it would have been nice. But, like I said, for me, once I found out I got traded and what we're going into, like that trumped everything for me. Like I said, I'm truly excited to be here, to be part of this group, to be a part of this city. Y'all saw I had the Cavs jersey on when I was like 5, 6, whatever it was. But I was a LeBron fan, but I was a Cleveland fan. My man's over there saying Cleveland Cavaliers, like I was saying that at the house. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how life comes full circle. And, being able to be a part of that, between the fire and the intros, I remember the little things. I told him I love playing in this arena, so to be here, I'm truly excited.
Spencer.
Spencer Davies, basketballnews.com. Hey, Donovan. Kobe mentioned a lot about your playoff experience and how that can help. I just wondering from you, in the postseason, what have you learned about the game in that time of the year that you can, kind of tell them about and kind of share your knowledge of that particular time of year?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, I think it's not even just about the playoffs. I think it's about the games leading up to it. Coach and I were just talking about that, if you're in a series with a division rival, and it's 2-0, now important is to get that 3-0 and not make it 2-2. So now you're fighting for a 4-5, a 5-6, 6-7, whatever it may be. Those little games that you're in, that kind of matter, those should-win games that you need to win and take care of business. I think that's first off where it starts. Then you ultimately get to the playoffs and understand that the pace slows down. It's a possession game, stops, rebounds, those extra efforts, those little things. You're diving on loose ball, diving in the crowd, taking the charge, being able to make the right play, not turn the ball over. That goes a long way in those playoffs games because, it's a 48-minute game, but it sure doesn't feel like it in the playoffs. It feels like every possession is like the fourth quarter with 5 seconds left. You got to make sure everything's on point. And that's ultimately what I want to bring in, is understand the relevance and the importance of each possession. And it starts with days like today, whether it's a foul call we're getting. No, we're not getting that in April. We're not getting that in May. Understanding that, whether it's something we're doing with Coach. Coach, what does he see? All right, cool. This may work now because of a coverage, but in this cover, they may change the coverage come playoff time. Just prepping yourself, throughout the entire season, throughout workouts, prepping your mind. That way when you get there, it's not a complete shock. It'll be different, because guys have never been, but it's still not a complete, shock when you get there.
And then a little more lighthearted one. You mentioned Ricky a little earlier. What's your relationship like? How did it start? And reuniting with him, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's my guy, man. He was, I call him Jesus. He cut his hair now, but back when he was in Utah, he had the hair and the whole bit. But he's a guy that really helped me with everything I just told you. And he really helped me lock in on the little details as far as my work, as far as my craft, as far as the possession game. Just being able to watch him lead our team from the point guard position, allowing me to kind of take the reins as a young guy, which I didn't even expect coming into the league, and just kind of teaching me the little things throughout the game. And I'm forever grateful for Ricky Rubio, and to be back here with him. He's a little bit older now, but he's still the lighthearted, fun guy that I've always known, and I've gone to Spain to see him and hung out with him. So to be back here with him is truly special.
Jason
Lloyd, The Athletic. Donovan, you're going from one small market cold weather city to another.
I love the cold, so it's not a problem.
Well, I was just going to say, typically those are not destination cities in the NBA, but it doesn't seem to bother you. I'm just wondering why that doesn't seem to bother you.
Well, like I said, I love the cold, to be honest. I think I dress better in the cold. But no, I honestly, it's not about market size for me. Honestly, it's like I said, it's about winning basketball. All the other off-the-court stuff will take care of itself when you win games, no matter where you are. That's first and foremost. And for me, like I said, coming here, not only do we have a great group, great team, great organization, but I can go watch some baseball games and some football games. And, I know a few guys on both teams, so it'd be good to, get around, see things, go be a 26-year-old and have fun, man. I think that's something that I'm really looking forward to.
And when last season ended, did you know Utah was going to dismantle the way they did? Were you surprised by how this entire offseason has transpired?
Yes and no. I mean, I had a feeling. There was, like I said, you guys do what you guys do, and there's always articles about it, about what could happen, and no matter how much you try to ignore it, we're not going to be naive. We all have phones, we have technology, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, so we see it, but, that wasn't a thought during the year. After we lost, that wasn't a thought for a little bit. That's pretty much every question I was asked after we lost, and I really wasn't thinking about it. But for me, I came into the summer like, last season for me wasn't my best. And no matter what situation, no matter where I was at, no matter how we were going to go about it, I had to come back and be the best version of myself and just put that work in. I left the season healthy. I came in, my ankles feeling good, and, that thing for me, that was just a blessing in itself, being able to come into a summer, ready to go. And, obviously it happened and things change, and I'm blessed.
Danny
Cunningham, ESPN Cleveland. Donovan, after spending the first part of your career playing with Rudy Gobert, what types of similarities or differences do you think that you'll have to face now playing with two guys that are that size as opposed to one?
The more the merrier, right? I think for me, obviously J.A., Ev, like I said, they've got my shot a few times. Rudy's one of the best bigs in the league on the defensive end. And, now you got Ev, who's a phenomenal 21-year-old kid who, made a play for Rookie of the Year. But, his offensive game is unique. But his defensive game, his instincts, it's up there, And then you have J.A., who, blocks everything, runs the floor, like sprints the floor, and keeps up with DG, which is impressive. Being able to switch, able to guard the perimeter, able to protect the paint. So I'm excited to play with both those guys. We got a lot of talent in the front court, and I think that's something that I'm truly excited about.
And then you went from being the younger guy with a little bit of an older group in Utah to now, I guess, the older guy at your age with a younger group. How does that change how you have to be as a leader, and who have you kind of leaned on in developing a leadership style in your time in Utah?
I think Ricky was huge, but I think for me, like, I came in just trying to be who I am. That was being vocal, lead by example, and I'm very grateful for my teammates in Utah who allowed a 21-year-old to kind of not tell them what to do, but to be that leader. To be a guy who was vocal, because typically that's not always the case in life, and in business when that guy's like, when a 20-year-old comes in and it's like he's the leader or whatnot. So for me, I'm forever grateful for that because it allowed us to grow as a group. But now coming into a situation where I am one of the older guys, I got to get to sleep a little bit earlier. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. But just being able to, like I said, just use my voice, do what I've been doing. It comes innately to me, and just being able to just understand that, it's going to take time. It's not like it's just boom right away. It's not like October 5th hits and everything's just going to be perfect. There's going to be trials and tribulations. We're going to continue to build. And, also on the flip side, being a leader is also being able to listen and being able to receive and not just being the one giving out, criticism or praise. Being able to listen as well, I think is huge. And, I'm excited for that.
Bailey Burmaster, Cleveland 19 News. Last season, there was a lot of talk about this team chemistry and camaraderie with the Cavs. How would you describe in your short time here, being around the guys, the identity of this team? Because there does seem to have this feeling that there's a fire and confidence brewing.
100%. I see it in pickup. You see it. We were in Nashville a week or so ago, and you just see the camaraderie that's already been built here. And I'm just blessed to be able to come in and join that. Guys are joking around, laughing, having a good time, but when it comes down to work, it's time to work. It's time to get going on the floor. And I think that's something that, from the outside looking in, being able to come into that situation, I'm a guy that's all about work when it's timing and having a good time, whether it's playing cards, playing Xbox. But I think for myself, seeing these guys, man, being around these guys throughout the summer, it's definitely evident, and you see it on the TV screen. I watched the playing game. I've watched them during the season. I've obviously played against these guys, and you see what they're building, what they're trying to build. I keep saying they, man, what we're trying to build, what we're trying to build, and just to be a part of that and just be an addition, I think is something that's truly I'm excited about.
We'll go with our last two, Evan, and then back up front to Chris.
Evan Demerol, Meta. Donovan, you mentioned this a few times now, just how you want to be a leader and how Ricky helped you become a leader. Ricky mentioned last year during media availability that his job or his goal is to help push Darius to be better than he was before. And clearly, Darius had a really good year last year. I assume you have some of the similar mentality as him. How do you want to help push this team to get past the play and become a playoff team and then kind of get the ball rolling from there?
Yeah, I think it comes with a lot of uncomfortability. I think, it's going to be habits. I think it's going to be the little things that really ultimately take us, because at the end of the day, like I said, we were a 3 seed, like I said, for a good part of the year. And obviously losing in the play-in, it's not what the team wanted, but, I think there's a lot to take in from that. There's a lot to take in from losses, from situations like that, and being able to come in and, use my leadership skills. But also, like I said, Ricky was the one that helped me too, as well as he helped Darius. Like, Ricky has a good track record with helping guards become all-stars and become doing things. But, just being able to kind of piggyback off Rick, being able to just use my voice, listen, being able to understand guys where they like their spots and whatnot. And sometimes guys are going to have to be uncomfortable, like myself. We're going to have to push through that day where you don't really feel like going through nothing. You're going to have to be ready on that back-to-back. You're going to have to show up early for a film session. We might have film, whatever it may be. Like, that's the stuff that ultimately builds championship habits. And that honestly starts from days like today. It doesn't start in December. It doesn't start in January. And like I said, it's not all going to just come to fruition on day one. But if you start early enough and continue to build throughout the season, by the time we get to the postseason, we'll be ready to go.
And this is non-basketball related, but you mentioned guys on the Guardians and the Browns. Who are you friends with?
Ahmed Rosario. He was on the Mets. And he was in the Lindor deal. And then Tristan McKenzie was a guy that, we met. And obviously I saw him pitch one game, and I was like, man, like, the skinny kid can throw. And then on who hit me up? Actually, believe it or not, I know he's not in Cleveland, but Joe Burrow hit me up. So appreciate you, Joe. And who else was it? Denzel Ward hit me up too. So, just knowing a few guys and being able to show that love shown, I think is truly a blessing.
Thank you. Welcome to Cleveland.
Appreciate it.
Last question down front, Chris.
Yeah, Donovan, you mentioned being a Cleveland fan back in the day when you were growing up. How does a New York kid become a Cleveland fan?
LeBron James. I'm not gonna lie to you. LeBron, and it's. I didn't realize, I will say this, I didn't realize, how many Cleveland fans there are in America and the world. Like, once I got traded, everywhere people are walking like, I'm from Cleveland, or I'm a Cleveland fan. I'm just like, wow, like I had no idea. And like I said, the love and support you get from the fans is truly, truly incredible. I was at the decision. He did it in my hometown or where I grew up or whatever. And, I remember seeing the reaction when he came back and whatnot, and going up and winning that championship. That was a special moment. I was, like, he was screaming. I was in Louisville in my dorm room screaming and making fun of my friends who bet against him or whatever. But for me, like to be able to see that, to be able to just to be a part of this organization, a group and a city that really, truly loves their team, I think is awesome.
And Donovan, anytime there's this kind of trade and these raised expectations, and how do you handle that? How do you handle that pressure, those expectations?
At the end of the day, it just starts with my work. Like I said, one of you asked earlier, like, how did I handle this summer being the talk of the summer? Like, at the end of the day, I had to go in the gym and be on the lab and do it the best be the best Donovan I can be every day. And that's what I would tell the team. Obviously there's going to be expectations, there's going to be eyes, there's going to be noise, but how can we be the best team we can be? At the end of the day, it's 5-on-5 basketball. It doesn't matter how many cameras, doesn't matter how many people are watching. At the end of the day, it's 5-on-5 basketball. Let's do the little things, continue to grind and continue to get better, because, there's always going to be expectation. Losses may feel a little bit harder now. We may feel those because they may be talked about a little bit more, but at the end of the day, and the wins may be celebrated just as high as well. But if you continue to stay level throughout the entire thing, it's the one thing I've always noticed, because never get too high. Believe it or not, Ricky taught me that. Never too high, never too low. Like, staying even keel throughout the whole process, and everything else will take care of itself.
Okay, thank you, Kobe, Donovan, JB.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for us, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.